As Prime Minister Modi and other global leaders discuss the growing challenges and opportunities for AI in governance at the Action Summit in Paris, India has outlined the plan to drive, support and push AI across industries. In a just released document, the government has highlighted how, with the right skills, the right mindset and the right opportunities, Indian professionals are driving AI advancements across industries from healthcare to finance, from education to e-commerce. And while India ranks first in global AI skill penetration, the future of AI will be written by those who can develop, deploy and scale up AI solutions. Now, the Digital India mission has laid the groundwork for AI-driven solutions across industries. So, has the Indian government taken significant steps to accelerate AI innovation and adoption in the country? Joining me to discuss that are Somraj Bhattacharjee, marketing strategy and AI expert, and from Bengaluru is my colleague and editor, International TV9 Network, Mr. Sridharan. Thank you so much for joining us here on the show. Let's begin, Shri, by putting things into context. We are officially in the race, in the AI race at the at the outset, whether we like it or not, whether we are ahead or not. But the fact of the matter is that there seems to be some clear thought put in from the government's end as far as artificial intelligence and developing its ecosystem in the country is concerned.
Absolutely, Krishna, because if you look at the India AI mission, which the government launched last year, I think the vision for India's roadmap to AI supremacy is very clear. We are going to build across the entire AI stack, which includes from the hardware to our foundation models, to our cloud computing capabilities, to ultimately applications, because that's what really is going to make the difference from a user end perspective. So it's very evident that India needs AI capabilities, but it needs AI that's going to work for Indians, right? Ultimately, having a shiny new technology is no help if it doesn't help Indian people, for example, the farmers, for example, our health industry, or there are so many different segments which will benefit from having AI. As the Prime Minister said in his speech, I think he summed it up very beautifully. He said, India will do AI that's good, and AI for all. So those are the two key parameters which are going to drive India's AI strategy. And having said that, Krishna, I think we should not take the fact that you mentioned about India having AI skill penetration the highest in the world. I don't think we should take it, we should be complacent about this. We need the government to participate proactively with the industry. We need the government to create an enabling environment. The government cannot create the AI on its own, right? It needs innovators, it needs private enterprises, it needs researchers, it needs great talent to come from not just India, from outside of India also to come and build AI. So I think this extraordinary collaboration between the government and industry and private enterprise is required for India to fulfill its AI destiny. So I think that's essentially what this India AI mission is all about. It recognizes that Indian government per se cannot build AI the way it needs to be built. It can only be a facilitator. It can provide public, infrastructure, which entrepreneurs, which creative geniuses can use, so that it doesn't become a barrier in terms of creating new AI technologies. And I think there are two very important things that's going for India, Krishna. One is we have demonstrated to the world already that we can build excellent technology. Our digital public infrastructure is a case study now around the world. So that's number one. And second, very importantly, well, DeepSeek is the chatter of the world in the AI world, but India has a long established DNA of developing frugal technology, whether it is in space or it's in rocket or even in defense. So I think we have all the ingredients. We need a consistent, a sustained push for India to build its AI supremacy going ahead, Krishna.
Right, we need a consistent push. Let me bring in Somraj Bhattacharjee at the stage. Somraj, talk to us. AI-specific PLI schemes, or production-linked incentive schemes, are incentivizing semiconductor and AI chip manufacturing. What else do you think needs to be done?
See, PLI schemes in semiconductor, the industry has been there for a long time. What we also need to integrate are silicon manufacturing. silicon manufacturing and chip manufacturing should go hand in hand. We still are lacking behind when it comes to rare earth metals. But if we can really resource them from foreign partners, we stand significantly poised to manufacture a huge amount of silicon chips in India and use them for AI production, number one. Number two, as the other panelists said, we need to really focus on the AI future in the NEP, the National Education Plan. We need to integrate AI courses in all types of schools, colleges, and training level institutions where AI courses are taught, delivered, and institutionalized into the learner's curriculum. Number three, we need to have a huge push. I think the government is already doing that in automation in the manufacturing industry, again, where AI is significantly used. If we can do that, considering that we are already focusing a lot on Make in India, the automation of the manufacturing industry is going to significantly push ahead the AI integration in the manufacturing industry. And number four, healthcare and edtech. These two setups are going to be huge. They are going to drive the global south and the developing world when it comes to AI integration. So we stand pivotal in being placed as the fulcrum leaders in pushing ahead AI in edtech and health tech. If we can push it further and if we can really encourage overseas talent who were Indian but are now settled in India to come back to our country and do more research in this domain. I feel this is going to be the next 10 years are going to see immense potential and expansion of AI in India.
Okay, huge potential. Shri, one of the reasons for that big potential and why they say AI's future lies in India is its people, the demographic dividend that we are enjoying at this stage. Talk to us. It's not just enough if you have the right people in the right age group. It's also important that they are upskilled, people who can take up all the opportunities that AI provides.
That's true, Krishna. I think just having people is not enough. I think giving them the environment and the skills they need to be able to do innovation, we need the DNA of original research to innovate. That is required. The most transformative, the most fundamental breakthrough in generative AI actually came from an Indian. The paper that he wrote, which is "Attention is all you need." But unfortunately, he was not working in India. He was working for Google's DeepMind, right? So I think we need such talent to remain in India. And I'm sure there are people within India who can do this, but we should not be shy of getting, like our co-panelists said, of getting the best talent back into India, whether it is Indian talent or even it's American talent, Russian talent, I don't care, or Chinese talent as well. Get them to India, because this is a race which we have to win. There's absolutely no option. So we have to throw our might behind this as a country and make sure that, as the Prime Minister said, we are able to develop open AI systems with the intention of doing good for everyone and for the poorest of the poor people to the biggest enterprise. So that should be objective as far as AI is concerned, and skilling people and providing them the enabling environment will be absolutely crucial in deciding whether we win this race or we lose this race.
Well, people are going to be important, but what's also going to be important is the partnership between, the government and the private sector. Somraj, the government is fostering public-private AI research collaborations. Talk to us. That is going to be another crucial factor that will drive, India in terms of how soon it can get ahead in this race.
Absolutely, and not only PPPs, we should also look at PPAs, where you have cooperative associations coming in. A lot of third-party NGOs and a lot of freeholding bodies are also doing a lot of research in AI, right? We should encourage them to come here, set up labs. India is filled with talent. Look at down south. I mean, Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune. They should set up labs over here, and the government should heavily incentivize them by giving them tax benefits to outsource their labs in India. If technology research happens in India, and if research of top quality, A-level quality research comes out of India, you will automatically see the ecosystem of AI hardware coming up around it. We should go from the software to the hardware route rather than the hardware to the software route. That's one point. And second point, we should heavily incentivize the rural sector in India to do a lot of implementation of AI. They cannot do research, but they can absolutely implement AI in their day-to-day activities and the farmers, the farming industry, the agriculture industry. They can really use AI significantly, and they become test cases, use cases, where applications of AI in new domains can be researched and you never know, the next deep seek may come out of India. And I don't see any challenges in that at all, except for maybe just the implementation. But the government is doing that significantly. What is needed is the push by the people, by the knowledge base. So I think we are well set for that.
Okay, you're talking about DeepSeek. Let's get to that, Shri. India's AI adoption rate is the highest globally, and that's according to Emeritus Global Workplace Skills Study 2025. Highest globally in terms of AI adoption. Talk to us. How can India leverage that and take on the likes of DeepSeek and DeepMind?
Right. So, Krishna, the adoption we are seeing is really, it's the tip of the iceberg. Because, see, don't forget that we still don't have foundation models in Indic languages or which are like actually trained on our data set. Because that is the hardest part of building any foundation model. Access to, high quality data and in enormous quantities. So imagine what will happen in this country if we are able to build foundation models which are suited to our context, which are built on our data sets. I think the transformation will be phenomenal. Our co-panelists already talked about agriculture, but there are sector after sector that can be totally disrupted. I mean, education. Most of our kids still learn in their local languages, right? English is largely an urban phenomenon. Now take education. I mean, we could transform the way we teach children maths and science and all of the subjects. I mean, AI, when we only think of like kids using it to copy or cheat on exams or come up with essays that they didn't write. But that's just a very small part of, generative AI. The promise of AI really lies in how do you improve the quality of education and help equip them with tools which are built on AI, models and allows them in their local language to discover and learn in an interactive fashion. So similarly in healthcare, there is so much that which is very unique to our Indian gene type. There are diseases that are very specific to us. If we can leverage our data sets that are relevant to our people, our agriculture, I think the transformation will be we can't even imagine how it's going to be transformed. So I think that's why I say just the tip of the iceberg. What we're seeing today, even for AI, it's early days. If we are able to build foundation models which are based on our data sets, which are authentic, high quality, and we also able to build small language models which are targeted to specific sectors, for example, agriculture, for example, healthcare or education. I think the ability that we have as a country to leverage AI will be like mind blowing, Krishna.
Right, so AI is not just about generative AI, isn't it, Somraj? So much of talk about AI is always about generative AI. Everybody talks about ChatGPT, and from ChatGPT, the next big sensation is DeepSeek. But there are so many ways in which AI innovation can be done that has nothing to do with generative AI and yet transformative as far as India is concerned.
Yes, everybody knows about generative AI, but we are also doing a lot of research, and the world is doing a lot of research in explainable AI. AI that can be reverse coded, right? Right. So we don't talk about that. There is huge potential. It's only being done in the US. Why not take the lead in that? That's point number one. Point number two, why not do a lot of research in training data? We have the largest population in the world. AI is trained on reverse and repeated iterations. Right now, iterations and the training data happens, the training of AI systems happen mostly in the US. Why not take the lead in that? Why not ask agencies to come here and outsource their data to us so that we can use our population base to train data? Like you and I, every time we go onto a website, we click on those tiles and buttons to log in and to confirm that we are humans, we are not robots. That is a form of training AI, large language models. So not only do we need to work on generative AI, we should look at the explainable AI. Explainable AI and AI in mathematical modeling is still very nascent. People do research in that, but they follow set patterns, iterations that are known. We can do a lot of research in that, and that can give us a base from which we can really leverage in the coming years. I see the next 5 years, India becoming the top one of it is already among the top five. India clearly going to the top three of AI interventions and AI creations in the top next 5 years' time. And 10 years down the line, I see India fighting, competing, collaborating with the best in the world. China, maybe it's doing well now, but I think India is going to be there with the US in the next 10 to 15 years' time.
Shri, would you concur with that? China might be ahead right now, ahead of everybody, ahead of even the US. but the future is for the taking for India.
Absolutely, Krishna. I think if we put our might behind it, if the government is determined, I don't think there's any force on earth that can stop our rise as a AI superpower. I'm very convinced about it. I think what we need is a sustained strategy. We need to get bureaucracy out of the way. We need to let innovators flourish. We need to give them enough money. We need to give them enough public infrastructure. We need to create the enabling environment and just get out of the way as a government, and you'll see the things happen. If one person in China sitting working with young graduates hired fresh out of college can come with a deep seek, I don't see why India can't do much better. Given our brain power literally is like powering AI and all the computer revolution around the world. So there is no dearth of talent. What we lack really is a sustained approach, an enabling environment, making it easy for companies to innovate, for researchers to innovate, to give them money so they can do their job without stressing about anything else. I think that's what we need. And that's where the government comes in, really, Krishna. It has to put that money in, make an enabling environment, and get the best resources together to build this India's AI roadmap.
Right, building India's roadmap, Somraj. So things are not as dire as OpenAI CEO Sam Altman once said. And India is nowhere in the picture when it cocomes to AI, isn't it? He himself has recalibrated that statement and said that it was taken out of context.
And recently he said that India is doing something right and it need not change its strategy. Recently he came up with that statement. So what we can really look at is, as my co-panelist said, we should incentivize AI research. So maybe I'm just putting it out, right? Have a national AI award or an AI research fund or something like that. If we can, because in India, if we can focus a lot on IT, we can do that in AI as well. And trust you me, we are doing something right, which the others have still not started. That is, we are working on the mathematics part of AI. We have a lot of research happening in the IITs, but they are mostly at the back end. They don't come ahead and create companies. We should encourage companies to be created. The government already is working on it, but heavily incentivize, maybe have the big wigs of the corporate industry promote and iterate companies that are AI startups. Heavily incentivize them, make them tax-free. Do it for 5 years. Maybe it will be heavy on the government's coffers, but 5 to 10 years down the line, if you do this consistently, as my co-panelist said, you're going to see at least 20 to 25 companies that are doing pure AI research from India alone. And once you start doing that, and once the world starts using AI tech from India, the world is at our feet. I mean, I don't see any roadblocks in that.
Okay, the world will be at our feet. We leave it at that. Somraj Bhattacharjee, marketing strategy and AI expert. Thank you so much for being with us. And of course, my colleague and editor international of TV9 Network, Sridharan, for being with us on the News 9 Plus show.